Hey everyone, I'm Joe and today I'm doing a book review of Central Station by Lavie Tidhar. First of all, I should do a little disclaimer, that is I received a copy of this book for free from the publisher via the NetGalley website in exchange for an honest review, of which this will definitely be. The publisher was Tachyon Publications and it was released on the 10th of May 2016. So first of all, this is classed as science fiction. It is a series of short stories that have been written over a number of years, from 2011 to 2016 to be precise, and he had always intended them to be together in one place, in a very particular order, and this is indeed that collection and the sort of ideal way he wanted them to be, with a few extra stories added on as well, and all the stories have been edited a little bit to sort of blend into one another and to help form one longer narrative whilst maintaining each individual story's uniqueness and sheer brilliance. So the book is set in Tel Aviv, which is a coastal city of Israel. It is set around a place called Central Station, unsurprisingly, and Central Station is a very large station for all sorts of different transport links, including air and possibly interstellar travel. You're never entirely sure, but I have a distinct feeling it has. It's an absolutely enormous structure. Think of the world's largest skyscraper and then just increase it, basically. There is a wide cast of characters who are all very diverse from one another. And indeed, one of the sort of sets of people in the book are robotniks, or cyborgs, basically. And they were used in wars over the years, and now most wars have generally ended and the robotniks are now just trying to survive, just like everybody else in the world. All of the short stories can be read individually. I mean, they do truly stand up by themselves, but they all interconnect and they all have little links here and there to the various other stories, and they all basically work together to sort of build each other up into something far greater than the sum of their parts. And frankly, this works extremely well, and it's a really interesting feature that you don't see that often, but in this situation it works extremely well, and frankly it's a brilliant book. All the stories, both individually and combined, are all very wide ranging in ideas and feeling, but they all have a very individual feel to them and a very personal feel to them, with some really interesting and really quite well thought out characters who really feel as though they belong where they are and they really fit into this environment, which is impressive, especially considering the environment is very unusual in a lot of ways due to the setting and the central station and obviously the range of characters as well, but yet they all work together and build into something really quite remarkable. All their stories mix and combine in multiple ways. Some of them only touch lightly on other stories throughout the book. Some of them are integral to all stories and this will wind through really heavily, and some are in between both extremes. In this world, humans have spread to the stars. We are now living on other planets, moons, colonies on various other celestial bodies of multiple different kinds, and the definition of what humanity is and what makes us human has started to evolve. We've evolved due to the way our society works, also due to technology, which is not surprising, and the way this is done and written about is really fascinating. The book is set on Earth, obviously in Tel Aviv, yet at points it feels very alien and very unusual and unique, but it always manages to feel very personal and very familiar to you. It never goes in such a unusual manner that you can't relate. You can always relate with every character in every situation, obviously albeit to greater and lesser degrees, which is frankly remarkable writing. The technology in this world has advanced, but it's not in your face advanced like some science fiction books. It feels organic and natural to the world. I feel the technology has evolved with the people, like technology has evolved with us. Some books, the technology feels as if it's just been placed suddenly in the world and everybody has to get used to it. With this, people are used to their technology, it's part of their daily lives, and in a lot of cases they just don't sort of think about it. I mean, frankly, like we do with, for instance, the internet. Nowadays, you know, the internet at one point was something very unusual and unique. Now the internet, everybody takes it for granted and assumes that you'll be able to connect to the internet no matter where you are, pretty much. The ending of the book is actually quite curious because it is not definitive in any sense. It's not like everybody ends up living happily ever after and bad guys are finished and, you know, the world is not ruined and that kind of thing. It's left in your own mind and you can make of it what you will. I'm not going to say anything too much about the ending because of course it'll spoil it, but it really is left very open and it's really quite curious because of it. Because very few books leave you with an ending as open as this one does, and frankly I really enjoyed it because of that open-ended nature and the sheer sort of level of freedom that you get to think about what you want of this book. This means there is no grand revelation at the end of the book or anything. It's more a case of that revelation about what humanity is and what it might become and what it has always been or what it was, and multiple other ideas along these sort of lines are in the book from page 1 to the last page, and it just changes how you think about it depending on the short story in question and how they are interacting with others. Frankly, it's fascinating and brilliant writing. So in summary, this book has great characters, a great setting, great ideas, and the writing is simply beautiful, and the way the book is constructed and the stories flow into one another is frankly remarkable, and I frankly cannot recommend this book enough to basically everybody. This book will definitely be in my top 10 books of the year. Actually, it may well be in my top 3 books of the year. More than likely it will be, because it's just simply amazing. And I definitely want to read more short stories by the author and see what other books he writes in the future. I'm definitely going to keep my eye on him because this was frankly remarkable. So with that said, that's it for this review. If you've read this or you would like to read it, then please leave a comment below and we can have a talk. All my social media links can be found in the information box below, along with a link to my written review on Goodreads. And finally, with that said, that is it for this video. So thank you for watching and I'll see you another day. Bye for now.